Do Amish women have male friends? Let me answer this the way most people actually mean it, not the way it gets turned into a TV drama headline. And I'm going to say this up front so you know where I'm coming from. I'm Sarah, an ex-Amish girl from Pennsylvania, and what I'm sharing is based on how Amish communities generally function, especially around youth life, dating, and the way friendship is defined inside the Ordnung. So, do Amish women have male friends? Yes, Amish girls and women can have friendships with men, but the friendship usually looks very different than what male friends means in mainstream American life. In most Amish communities, close one-on-one male-female friendships are not encouraged, especially once someone is baptized, because it can look like courting, it can spark gossip, and it can be seen as stepping outside the community's idea of modesty and boundaries. What's common instead is group-based friendships, family-connected friendships, and we've known each other forever friendships that stay respectful and public. Here's the simplest way to understand it. In Amish culture, opposite-sex closeness tends to get sorted into one of two buckets. Either it's community-friendly socializing or it's courting. And people will assume courting a lot faster than outsiders expect. If you've never been around Amish life, you might imagine it's all strict separation and no interaction. That's not true. Amish boys and girls grow up around each other constantly. Church, work, neighbors, weddings, visits, and especially youth gatherings. But the way they interact is shaped by the fact that Amish communities are small, everyone knows everyone, and reputation matters. Now let's talk about where Amish girls actually meet and socialize with boys in a normal, accepted way. In many communities, Amish youth social life starts to open up around the mid-teen years. One of the biggest social hubs is the Sunday evening singing. It's a group event, often dozens of young people, and it's exactly what it sounds like. Singing, visiting, and socializing. This is one of the most normal spaces where Amish boys and girls talk, laugh, and get to know each other with other people around. And yes, friendships form there, real ones. But they're not usually labeled as, I have a guy best friend. It's more like, we're in the same youth circle, or we've known each other since we were kids, or he's from the next farm over. Courtship and dating commonly start from this world too, often with a boy offering a girl a ride home after singing. So if someone asks, do Amish women have male friends? My honest answer is, Amish girls often have male friends in the youth group sense. Friendly, familiar, socially connected, especially before marriage. But the closer you get to adulthood, baptism, and marriage expectations, the more that friendship is expected to either become courtship or stay at a respectful distance. And I need to point out something people get wrong. Amish marriages are not typically arranged. Amish young people usually choose who they date and who they marry, but within the boundaries of the community. That matters because it means that the whole youth social system has a purpose. It's not just hanging out, it's also the main pathway to finding a spouse. That's why an Amish friendship between a young man and a young woman can get interpreted as something more, even if it's innocent. Now, what about adult Amish women, married women, having male friends? This is where the answer gets even more, it depends, because Amish life isn't one single rule book. Different Amish affiliations and districts have different standards. There isn't one universal set of rules across all Amish communities, and practices vary. But in many old order settings, once a woman is married, it's generally expected that her closest emotional companionship is with her husband, her children, her sisters and female friends, and her extended family. That doesn't mean she can't be friendly with men. Of course she can. Neighbors, relatives, church members, customers if the family has a business. But a private, ongoing, one-on-one friendship vibe with another man would often be viewed as inappropriate, even if nothing romantic is happening, because it raises questions and threatens the community's sense of order. And Amish culture is very sensitive to appearance, not in a shallow way, more in a don't invite suspicion way. People avoid situations that could create talk. So the type of male friendship that's totally normal outside, texting every day, hanging out alone, grabbing coffee together, usually doesn't translate directly into Amish life, especially in more conservative groups. Now, there's one more layer, baptism status. In Amish life, being baptized changes what you're accountable for. Before baptism, Amish teens are in a unique stage where they have more social freedom than baptized adults. That's why youth life can look more flexible, more events, more visiting, more dating. Rumspringa is often used to describe this youth period, and it's commonly associated with increased socializing and dating, though the wild partying image is exaggerated in a lot of media portrayals. And this is important. A lot of Amish youth are still living at home during this period, not moving away to cities like people assume. So friendships and dating are happening inside the community web, not outside of it. If someone asks, do Amish women have male friends? My honest answer is still yes. Often in a group setting, in a youth circle setting, in a we all grew up together setting. But even then, the culture pushes opposite sex closeness toward courtship rather than just friends forever. Now let's address the question people are usually secretly asking. Can Amish women be just friends with a man without it being romantic? Sometimes yes, especially if it's a cousin, a family friend, a neighbor everyone knows, or a friendship that's clearly public and within boundaries. But Amish communities tend to define emotional intimacy differently. A friendship that feels emotionally close can quickly be seen as stepping into courting territory, because in their world, why would a young man and woman consistently choose each other's company unless they were heading toward marriage? And I want to say something that might sound blunt, but it's true. Amish life doesn't leave much room for ambiguous relationships. It's not built for that. The whole social structure is meant to protect marriage, family stability, and community unity. So if a relationship looks like it could threaten that, people will discourage it, sometimes gently, sometimes through social pressure. Now, do exceptions exist? Absolutely. Amish communities vary, families vary, and personalities vary. Some youth groups are slower and more supervised. Others are faster and push boundaries more. Some districts are stricter about male-female interaction than others. And as Amish communities interact with the outside world through work and business, there are more situations where Amish women may talk with non-Amish men, customers, contractors, drivers, especially in more entrepreneurial families. But even then, what stays consistent is this. The culture values modesty, caution, and not putting yourself in a situation that can be questioned. So if you want the realistic answer in one sentence, here it is. Amish women can have male friends, but the friendship is usually community-based and boundary-heavy, and close one-on-one friendships are often avoided because they're easily seen as courtship or inappropriate. And if you're watching this because you've seen reality shows or viral clips that make it look like Amish youth life is either totally locked down or totally wild, real life is usually in the middle. Amish youth socialize, they date, they form friendships, but it all sits inside a community where the lines are clear, and the goal of that stage of life is often to find a future spouse.